I'm a mother of 8 from the island of Molokaʻi, and I need help. I need help because I live a subsistence lifestyle on the island of Molokaʻi. I feed my children that way. My grandchildren are fed that way. And if it seems selfish to everybody in this room, that's my job. My job is to feed my family. My job as a Hawaiian is also to protect my resources. Papahānaumokuākea is my responsibility.
My name is Shad Kane, and I support the expansion of Papahānaumokuākea. I've made in excess of some 60 kahili today that are in state buildings, libraries, hotels, and private collections. I am a kia manu, a gatherer of seabird feathers from Papahānaumokuākea.
I was one also of a selected group of cultural practitioners to actually go up to Nihoa and Mokumanamana to restore cultural protocols and rituals. So I would say I have some first-hand experience about the cultural value there, which is really our distinction between heaven and earth and the afterworld. So the benefit for Native Hawaiians, let's just get that out on the table. That is where our ancestors lie, and that's where we continue to make connections to honor their afterlife. So there should be no questions about the value of that land.
Aloha everyone, my name is Dyson and I'm a 14-year-old homeschooler. I got a feeling I'm the youngest speaker here. There's just so much things that we can protect, that we have not found yet, and all that, we're responsible for that. Every generation that comes is responsible for protecting this earth that is all of our homes.
In this case, the issue is far, far bigger than one fishery. It's about biodiversity that is incredibly unique, among the most unique on Earth. It is about undiscovered biodiversity and the importance that biodiversity is going to have for many generations of humans, not just my kids, not just my grandkids, but dozens of generations to come.
Almost all, if not all, of those of us who have accessed and experienced this place firsthand, we're standing at this mic. And it's because we have felt something there that we understand is important and we've taken on a responsibility to care for. It's not about tuna fisheries, honestly. When you go there, there's a level of connectivity that you don't see anywhere else anymore.
Papahānaumoku resides in a sacred realm. That realm is known as the Po. There are 2 realms like that I'm aware of. I'm sure there's probably more, but that is the high heavens of Mauna Kea, the darkest part of space. There's that Po, and the deepest, darkest part of the ocean, which is the other Po. Now, the poles are important because they contain what is known as the regenerative life forces of the sea and the land. They're the infinite darkness, but they're infinite potential for all things to come.
He kanaloa nuakea. He kanaloa panavela. He kanaloa ki ala baiava ulakala. He kane ki ala ulakala. I'm Leighton Sale, and I speak with the na'au from the ancestors, our ohani. The first time I went to Papahānaumokuākea was in 1968. I'm probably the only one in this room being there in 1968. The first time I arrived, Papahānaumokuākea, I saw Nihoa and Mokumanamana. From 2 nautical miles or more, I was so excited. I was 19 years old when the kupuna told me the stories of the islands, of our ancestors. When I saw it, you thought you were looking at Mauna Kea. It was all white snow caps. As you get closer, it was bird droppings. And you could hear the thousands of birds squawking, diving, catching fish to feed the young.
Ma'aina, my ocean mean more to me than anything, because that's our mama. And we gotta protect them, even from ourselves. So I'm for the expansion, because my loyalty is to the I-9, always gonna be.
We are all in support of the expansion of Papahānaumokuākea. Little background about how serious we take fish as food. We're the only restaurants in town that are certified by the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch to serve only sustainably sourced seafood that does not jeopardize overfishing, bycatch, habitat destruction, all these issues we're concerned about.
I had the opportunity to sail on Hikianalia there last summer. And there's this spiritual reawakening that anybody can experience by being there. It pulls at your na'au, your chakra, your chi, your ki. It pulls at the very center of you, by reawakening the fire for the spirit of the cultural connectivity.
We dedicate our lives to this stuff because we know that there is a higher mission here that is for the health and the well-being of the collective, not just as us as individuals. And so when I talk about leadership, I talk about commitment, and I think about Uncle Buzzy Agard, and I think about the term pu'uhonua that he used. He recognized that we needed this place to become a pu'uhonua, or a safe haven for the rich biological diversity and the cultural diversity and the cultural practices that continue to go up there today.
We cannot any longer go out in our nearshore waters and do what we used to do. And it's hurtful because I know how. My grandfather was an aku boat fisherman in the era of Uncle Buzzy up there. And he couldn't keep fishing because my grandmother didn't want him to go farther and farther out, because the farther out you go, the more dangerous it is. The bigger the gear, the bigger the boats, the harder it is to bring that food home. So they made the choice to become cityfied and leave Nanakuli and come into town and become townies. And that became our story here. And that becomes a story of so many families, because we're talking about and arguing over 0.33 of 1% of the total global ocean.
I was the first chair of Westpac's Native and Indigenous Rights Advisory Panel, as well as the only individual ever to serve on all 6 of the advisory panels under the Western Pacific Fishery Management Council. And in 2000, I drafted a management plan for the Northwest Islands that led to the creation of the Coral Reef Ecosystem Reserve. That was the most broadly participated public process ever in Hawaii. I believe the United States has a moral obligation to protect the resources in that area for the time when the United States deoccupies our nation, so we can resume control of what is actually ours.
This is a valuable resource to not just us, but the entire world. There's nothing else like this in the world. We need to protect it, not for just our generations, but the future generations.
We once again ask the President to be bold, because we live in a time when climate is changing. We live in a time when the world is changing. We live in a time when the resources don't only belong, the fishing resources don't only belong to fishermen. They belong to future generations, just like that young baby that was held in the hands of that mama here, asking the President to be bold, because climate change, Mr. President, requires bold decisions. Thank you.
My name is Valentine Ako. I live in Reawakening, Puakea, and I'm 90 years old. I was a fisherman from when I was 7 years old, and I fished all over the Pacific, even on the mainland, on those big tuna clippers as a fisherman, and did a lot of longline fishermen on the fish and wildlife. When they initiated fish and wildlife, I became one of the navigators on their ships doing research. And my manawa to you people, that the Northwestern Hawaiian Islands should be expanded, because we natives are the original people of these islands.
Quite simply, we are ocean people. And when you protect the ocean, you protect our memories and our knowledge system, because that is also going extinct.
I'm in support
And I would just read the second last paragraph I had in my testimony. Please be advised that my support for Senator Schott's proposal of the monument expansion compromise is with the understanding that there would be no future expansion.
I'm in support of the expansion. I have been a member of the Cultural Working Group since its very inception, which is more than 10 years ago. And we've had many discussions with the scientific community, as well as other cultural practitioners, about the well-being and the welfare and the need for protecting Papahānaumokuākea.
I am a surfer, photographer, shark attack survivor, and strong advocate for the protection of sharks in a healthy marine ecosystem. I born and raised here on Kauaʻi, and I'm in full support of the expansion of Papahānaumokuākea. I truly believe a large, hands-off swath of ocean will ensure we have a healthy, diverse marine ecosystem. I can understand some points critics make of the expansion, but if you remove all the rhetoric, all the politics, and strip it down to its very basics, we're talking about the preservation of our most critical resources, and if we look at it 10, 15, 20, 50 years from now, it's obvious that this expansion is incredibly pono for a healthy, bountiful ocean.
We have made the sacrifices to protect this, our heritage site, and we are asking you to expand the protections, the opportunities, and the future of this incredible world resource. We know the unique qualities of Papahānaumokuākea might never be fully recognized, but of those we know, they are each and all precious to us and the earth, our past and our future. Your Hawaiʻi roots require you to fulfill an imperative kuleana when you are able, and you are able to provide needed protection in this place for us all.
The expansion, I can see there is going to be good for it versus not good. And as for the bottom fisheries on the Northwest Hawaiian Islands before, from what I understand, it was kind of paid out. Okay, so let's get that clear. And in the other sense that as for the buoys, the weather buoys, right on. So long the line stays at the 163 line coming out of Senator Schott's office, I can support that. But if it gets any closer to the island of Kauaʻi, I gotta disagree.
Both of my sides of my families that I live with and that I am are fishermen. So fishing on every level is highly political. I do feel that there is a need to protect our resources on a federal level, especially our waters. And there's so much going on a global level and so much depletion going on a global level that I really think that this expansion would help to preserve fish stock, to preserve all the ocean animals and their right to live in their home.
I'm part Hawaiian. My Hawaiian side of my family comes from Ha'ena, Kalalau, and my great-grandfather claimed that his family came from Nihoa. So in 2010, I had an opportunity to go and visit our place. And so I'm here in support because I feel it's a kuleana that I have to protect that place.
And I am here acknowledging the kupuna of this land, the people of this land. I am from Hawaiʻi Island, and I step on this land with honor and reverence to all of you. I spent 7 months out in Papahānaumokuākea. I laid my prayers down there, spoke my language, reclaimed my individual sovereignty in the last atoll on the Hawaiian chain.